Thank you all so much for coming. It's really a great honor for us to be here at Artivist. Howard Zinn said, sometimes in order to understand where you're going, you have to look where you've been. And as humans, we need nature. We come from nature, and it has to be part of who we are, and it has to be part of where we're going.
Hi, my name is Steve Roth. I'm the editor of Play Again. Grand Productions, the company that is responsible for this film, was created to make films that contribute to important dialogues that are happening right now. Play Again, this project began in 2006 with the realization, Tony Hsieh, our director, finding a study that says that the average child today can name well over 100 corporate logos in fewer than 10 plants, and that was startling to us, and that's what kicked it all off. Play Again is doing very well all over the world, and I just want to tell you that most recently we were awarded Best Film at the Colorado Environmental Film Festival, and also Best Educational Film in Prague at Ecofilm, which was great. The next stage of Play Again is an outreach effort where we hope to be able to partner with organizations and create ways to get kids outside and to give them opportunities to do that. So the main question I'm sure we all have is, what do we do now and what can you do? And this wonderful panel today, I'm sure we're going to get to the bottom of it. Thank you very much.
You took the words right out of my mouth. I think the themes of this film are exceptionally strong and very clear. So perhaps some of the things we can talk about today are how to achieve a balance between the virtual and real worlds. And perhaps, perhaps the way we could proceed is, I'm going to ask you if you can, you're the executive producer, but you've been intimately involved with all aspects of the film. If there were any finite instances that were real inspirations for you in getting the film together, and any other, why the film was made, really, and then perhaps open it up to the panelists as to how you work with your organizations in fostering the real world, the natural world for children and adults alike, and how perhaps in the end we can all achieve a great balance. So speak to the inspiration, please.
Yeah, well, David mentioned this study that sort of kicked off the thought about the film, but I mean, fundamentally, all of us began to think about the differences between the way that we all grew up, and I'm sure all of you guys grew up, being outside most of the time. You would come home when it was dark, and that was our childhoods. And the difference between that and the childhoods that our own children are experiencing, even those of us who are very aware of these issues. I've got a 7-year-old and an 11-year-old, and their childhood growing up in this environment is very, very different than the one that I experienced, and I feel like we're really missing something, and so that was the inspiration.
Good. Great. Now perhaps if each of the panelists could introduce him or herself and give a few words about your organization, and then we can move specifically to what you're doing.
Sure. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Juan Martinez. I work with the Children in Nature Network. So Rich Liu, who wrote a book, you guys saw him there getting an interview. He wrote Last Child in the Woods. And Martin LeBlanc, who runs a national youth program for the Sierra Club, are some of the people that I consider my mentors and who I work with on an almost daily basis. So I'm very, very fortunate enough to have them on speed dial all the time. And I specifically work with Rich and the Children in Nature Network, developing the National Youth Leadership Development Program for them, and actually handpicking leaders all across the nation and the world, really, that are connecting their communities to the outdoors. And that's in a nutshell what I do. The program is called the Natural Leaders Network. We have some pretty outstanding stuff coming up in 2011, and I'm sure there's a little bit more of that coming up. But I gotta say, I love the smell of popcorn in here. So this is my first film festival. I'm lucky it's the first Artivist. Artivist is the first film festival I attend, so I'm happy.
Well, my name is Luis Levi. I'm a Brazilian. I was born in São Paulo, and I wrote a book called "Play the Game: The Parent's Guide to Video Games." I wrote it with my wife, Jeannie Novak. She's watching me right now. I wrote that book with her from the point of view of the kid. You know, from the kid that grows up with technology since I was, I think, 5 or something. But not like the kids today. I would hate to have Facebook when I was, in kindergarten or something like that. So it's very illuminating for me to watch this documentary and see the challenges kids nowadays have to deal with. I think I had it easy in many ways, and I'll go back to it later on. But I do PR for games and technology. I'm wired 12, 13 hours a day reading news and reading things, but I also balance it out with reading books and going outside and being in the sun and that kind of thing.
Thanks. I'm Jeff Chapman. I work for the National Audubon Society in Audubon, California. And Audubon's really known across the country for our work that we do with birds. But we're also really committed to connecting people with nature. And currently we operate 41 nature centers across the country, including the first urban center that we ever built right here in Los Angeles. We run a nature center in Debs Park, which is the 3rd largest park in the city of Los Angeles. It's on the northeast side of town, off the 110 freeway. And the kids that we work with live in really dense park-poor areas, as most communities are in Los Angeles. And we feel that we provide them with a threshold experience, if you will, of kind of bridging the gap between these wilderness experiences that we see in the film today and experiences right in their own backyard of nature in the city. And we feel honored to be doing that work with the community that we work with and the greater Los Angeles County. And our ultimate goal is to have the children that we're working with growing up with a sense of wonder and environmental stewardship as a part of their ethics. And that's our overall goal, and hoping to build the next generation of conservationists.